Focus is My main focus includes peace building work, trauma healing and reconciliation, and also I work with the FEM on the Turkana and Samburu missions, especially the Girl Child program. I'm a Quaker, was born a Quaker. I'm a seventh born in my family, and I have 4 children. Our offices are in Kisumu, but mostly my work is remotely because I'm more in the field work, working with the grassroots and the local communities.
What does that mean for your day-to-day working with in the grassroots and local communities?
Wow, that's an interesting question. When you talk about working grassroots, literally for me, it speaks louder because when you wake up in the morning, as much as you have plans for your day, you become an open page. You might find surprises. You might find different perspective from what you anticipated. And so my work rotates to getting down when I'm going to do, especially when I'm doing peace building work, we have the content in the community that this is the situation on the ground. But once you sit and listen to the community, you realize that there is more to it than what you know. So when you're dealing with reconciliation, you're always caught by surprise of new emerging issues. And so for me, as a believer of the word and a Quaker, it simply means that diving in a hope every day as you wake up in the morning.
I'm correct me, this is my impression to a Western audience, that would feel very unsettling to not have a sense of what the day was going to hold when you go about beginning it every day.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us about, so you said you do your work remotely. Can you tell us about how you get where you need to go on a daily basis?
Usually in Kenya, we have various means of finding ways where you're going. So I cannot just get into a community, like if it's peace work, I cannot just get into a community and start doing a training. I have to meet people in the community to look at what are the needs and why this training is important. When you talk about mobilizing young girls, we work with community members and the elders. They come and say that girls who are at a risk of being who are at a risk of being circumcised at an early age, especially the female genital mutilation. And there are those girls whose parents don't believe in education, and so they kind of just marry them off early at the age of 12. So, and that has come as a concern. We could use public transport, like we call it in Kenya matatu. We have to travel to where people are, where the community members are, where the girls are, and try to ensure that we intervene by encouraging the parents to take the girls to school. But when the girls feel they're not safe, I think that's when FEM comes in now very handy, because what we do, we fundraise, organize to make sure that we have some money to keep a child in school. Recently, we launched a program that is a Shepherd Boy Scholarship. This has not started rolling out, but you're hoping in this 2026 calendar year, we'll have a couple of the boys will be taken through schools. And how do we get these boys? When I go to Samburu, usually Samburu community works with Morans. And there are people in the northern parts of Kenya that always their young men are taken into banditry at a very early age, like age of 6 years. And so we try to make sure we talk to them, but then you realize that even if talking to them, they're not allowed by their parents to go to school because they have lived to fight and protect the animals. So having these boys to school will enable to bring some peaceful existence and stop the history of having cattle rustling or banditry in Samburu and some parts of Turkana. So some of these areas are deeply remotely, and so I have to use motorbikes. And some places you walk because it's not even safe to ride on a motorbike, probably because of insecurity. So there are all these different scenarios in different parts, because what is in Mount Elgon gets to be a bit different from what is in Samburu or Turkana. And sometimes places like Turkana, where you meet these people, they go to a place where there's water, because Turkana has experienced very harsh drought. So there are very few scarce places that they get water. And that's why I find young men are mobilized. And that's when you can maybe work with them or talk with them or train them if we need to train on peace building.
You were here in the U.S. last summer and spoke at the meeting I used to pastor at, and shared a story about some of the girls who had gone through the girl child education program and had returned home and looked around and said, "There is no one for us to marry." Can you tell us about part of the Shepherd Boy Project was helping to answer that question?
This actually came from one of the beneficiary of the Girl Child program, that they went to school, they have done education through the support of the Girl Child scholarship. But then some of these girls get intimidated because, one, they are believed to be of a high class. And so the community men feel scared marrying these girls because they feel they know more than they are. It's an African ego thing, part of it. And so the request of one of the lady who is now a teacher saying that, because they felt they need to have more voices to understand the role of women in the society. But also, not just having more voices, they need to stand up and work with other people, because they're not earning a living. But when men see you providing, they feel like you're almost taking their space. So the young men who are in the Morans, who are in the field taking care of the cattle, should go to school and understand the empowerment aspect, so that it's working together, both male and women, to provide or share responsibility in a family, so that they can have a sustainable livelihoods.
That's one of my favorite stories, the concept about the movement toward the Shepherd Boy Project. Not that the others are insignificant, but that the girls were like, we need somebody on our equivalency who will feel comfortable in a partnership with us. And right now there is nobody. And can you help? I think sometimes that's often a universal reality across cultures, is that we need not just half the gendered population elevated, but we need to do it with equality, so that they can we can meet each other in that journey. And it tickles me to see the humanity in that translated across cultures.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you worked for FUM?
Wow. I'm actually working for FUM directly. It's 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
But I started working with a Kenyan organized group after the election violence in 2007, 2008. So it's been over 23 years working in peace work. I actually joined when I was very young.
Yes.
In my past teenage,
yeah,
I would say. For a Kenyan, that was young.
Yeah, what I was going to say was,
I've grown old.
You started working indirectly for FUM when you were 4.
No, I mean, I was 25,
Yeah.
24.
Yeah. Can you tell us about the, I'm going to use two different words, the craziest thing you've done working for FUM, and then I would say that is also a faithful thing that you have done.
I have several things that I think at that point wasn't feeling like crazy, but when I look back, it hits my imagination that how did I even get myself there? Um, what one of the incidents was going to Mount Elgon, meeting a rebel leader of a militia group. Mount Elgon is the border of Kenya and Uganda, and we had started doing after they have normally have the clan wars. So in every political year, they just have to create chaos and fight. So we started doing trauma healing with the victims, so that people can settle back to their homes and start working in their farms and earn a living. But there was a lot of tense because the militia group, the perpetrators, were more hidden in the forest and they're being searched by the police. So their leader was killed. The second in command of the militia group had one of their young militiamen attending our workshop without us knowing. And usually after a training of 3 days, we normally give participants our numbers so that they can contact us if they need help. So this guy was there quietly for 3 days, went back to the forest and told the team that, hey, there's a program that I think you people need to attend. So that part of the story came to me after we had already got ourselves in the mess. But then I'm home, just on a normal weekend, a Saturday, I receive a phone call from this name called Besije. Besije is a Ugandan politician. So I thought, well, there's a guy calling Besije saying that he wants to meet me. So I called our contact person in Mount Elgon that can we organize to meet somebody from Mount Elgon who is called Besije. In myself, I didn't know who the person was, but the Mount Elgon community people knew him. He was a no-go zone. So when Erastus heard me saying, we need to meet this Besije of a guy, Erastus just quickly told me, switch off your phone and don't receive any strange phone calls and don't even go. They're now trying to tap where you're living. So I was like, what's wrong? Somebody just called me and asked he wants to see me. What's the crime in that? So because Erastus was adamant, I decided to send a message to this Besije and told him, let's meet tomorrow, which is a Sunday, in Chepkurkur village, which is in Mount Elgon. And he agreed. So I sneaked into Mount Elgon without Erastus knowing because I was very curious. Why is Erastus telling me not to attend to meet this man? But getting to Chepkurkur, a young boy of 5 years saw me, like when you get to a new place and you're looking at the shops and trying to see who could be this person who called me. And the young boy, who is 5 years, noticed I looked like a stranger. So he came to me and asked me, are you looking for BCJ? I said, yes. Is he your father? And said, no, let's come and I take you to where he is. So I trusted this 5-year-old soul because he was a very innocent young boy. But as I followed him, he kept moving deeper into the forest. So walking like almost 1.5 kilometers, I felt some goosebumps because getting deeper into the forest. So I told the boy, are you sure taking me to the right place? I don't see houses. I said, no, we are almost there. Let's go. So getting there, I met 6 men sitting on different logs with different weapons. And of all the men, there was one who was very short, very dark, slim. He looked so innocent. He introduced himself as Besije. My fear came at that point because I saw some weapons I've never seen in life. In Quaker, I think this is when missionary came, I was raised to know that weapons are not good. Quakers do not hold weapons. And so even seeing weapons, I only see police. And so they started calling, telling me, we heard about your workshop, and one of us was there. Don't ask us the name of the person. We want you to come and train our people, but we have to decide our venue. We'll take over where you sleep. This is the team that you hear, the Sabot Land Defense Force. At that point, I think, Michael, that's when I freeze to death, because I was like, what am I getting involved in? And my questions were like, will my mother ever know if I'm dead? Because that place was just a no entry place. So I calmly asked, I think police are looking for you. How much do you trust me? So they said, if you play to our rules yourself, we know where you stay. I had no option but to oblige. So I agreed to do the workshop, but the question is, I cannot do a training alone. They took my identification card, they took my phone, and they told me, we're already planning the day and the place we need to meet. So don't alert the police. But then my problem, whom do I facilitate this training with? So I went back home. I was so quiet, I didn't even talk to my husband about it because I knew he'll be freaked to death. So what I did, I called my colleague whose name is Ezra, and I said, we need to go to Mount Elgon. He got excited thinking that you're going for our normal trainings, but he didn't know where. And I didn't tell him where. So on my motorbike going up, climbing because Mount Elgon, you can't travel with the vehicle. I got to a place and I just couldn't hold it but to tell Ezra, we are going to meet the militiamen. And if you dare jump out from the motorbike, we get accident. And if we stop, they're tracking us. So don't. Let us just go to the conference. We eventually went. We were scared of them, but the first day of the training, we realized they came for the workshop. It's a peace workshop, but everybody had different weapons, just in case we report them or anything happens. We did a training, but I think, Michael, that is one of the silliest mistake. I think when I think about it up to now, I don't know how we survived. Right now, we have so many militiamen who are back in the community after trainings. Some have met their victims. Some are still not yet there because healing is a gradual process. And some are still hiding in Mount Elgon because of their safety from the victims. But as we continue the process, we've never given up. The Mount Elgon, the Sabot Land Defense group, at that point has been broken and they're back trying to heal. And Mount Elgon has experienced a very, very positive peace for quite a while, over 15 years, I will say. Welcome, Director John.
Yeah. So that iPhone is John. Welcome, John. Can you say hello? And there you are. Tell us what you're doing. Give us your resume.
I'm coming. Sorry, this is John. You can see me. I'm actually in the dark. I'm on the farm. I came in with one of the major programs we are having on development of sustainability to see ourselves growing into missions. And therefore, I'm on the farm where we started harvesting the seed, and the trucks were coming to pick, and the rains are there, and they're getting stuck. So I'm still on the farm, and I'm trying to plan how I can even get out of the farm to go home, because the road is impassable. So that is part of the missions I do. This is not unusual. I'm used to this kind of terrains. Yeah. I'm John Muhanji, and I'm the director of Friends United Meeting Africa Ministries. And I'm sorry I've come in late from joining in and finding Getry talking. Thank you, Michael. Maybe you will lead me to the next level.
Yeah. So what I was thinking is, in the U.S., when we get stuck in a rut, we are doing things that are boring. And in Kenya, when you get stuck in a rut, you have to think creatively to keep going.
Definitely. You are right.
and that so I want to extend my appreciation and thanks for you joining us in the middle of what is a difficult moment. Can you, since you're at the farm, can you tell us what they're doing with the harvest right now?
This year, we know the farm is we planting the seed maize, the seed corn. We contracted with the Kenya Seed Company, and we are now the maize, the first crop we started planting, about 350 acres first crop. We started harvesting on Friday. The first delivery to Kenya Seed Dryer is tomorrow. So harvesting started on Friday. Yesterday, they were sorting them out to remove the ones that are bad and rotten and get the clean seed maize. And today, Kenya Seed sent trucks to come and pick the selected seeds. So we have delivered already, as I'm speaking, 2 lorries have left carrying almost 600 bags of seed maize. They have gone to the seed dryer. The Kenya Seed has picked them. Tomorrow, we expect also to release another 2 lorries. So a total from what we have harvested, we are expecting to deliver to Kenya Seed 1,100 bags of seed maize, which is far beyond what they expected. They expected us to deliver 100 bags daily, but we shall be delivering 110, 1,100 bags. So 2 lorries are going tomorrow. This one has only been done from 50 acres.
Wonderful. So I'm trying to remember if I'm going to ask if I heard correctly. This year, all of the seed corn is being harvested by hand and they're harvesting whole ears. Is that correct?
Yes, we are harvesting by hand. The seed maize is never harvested by combine because combine will mix the bad seeds with the good ones. So they have to be harvested by hand, and the cob, a whole cob, and being selected again to get the ones that may be rotten and what. And the only one that goes to the Kenya Seed is the good cob, maize on cob, not shelled. So it's the seed company that will shell and dry them to their moisture content.
What popped into my head was that in the midst of, you said it was rainy and the roads were impassable, that because of this, the corn is being harvested by hand, that means that the harvesting can actually happen. And if we were relying on machinery in the field, we probably wouldn't be harvesting. Is that a correct assumption?
No, we need machinery to haul those corn from the fields. It's only harvested by hands, tucked into the sacks, and the tractor and the trolley, the trailer on the tractor has to haul them out of the farm. Okay. So we still need machinery to carry them, haul them out of the farm to the store. And at one point when it is raining, the tractors get stuck on the farm.
Yeah.
So we don't stop. When it is raining, we wait for it to stop a bit and we continue harvesting.
Excellent.
Yesterday, we were rained on thoroughly.
But yeah, that it is hard to imagine that process. That is not a cultural translation. I've done some work on a farm growing corn and soybeans, and if it's raining, we go play basketball in Indiana.
Unfortunately, That can be done if you are doing commercial maize.
Yeah.
But if you are doing seed maize, you won't go and play football because you contracted with a company.
Yeah.
And the company is expecting the maize at a period you've been given. And here we have to deliver it by tomorrow. At least by tomorrow, the first lot. So you have to work it out to make sure that the corn is delivered because it is their crop.
Yeah.
A contracted crop is not yours, it is theirs. They pay you for it, but you have to bear the consequences of certain things like rain.
Yeah.
Maybe I may say this. This is part of the sustainability program. Friends United Meeting came up with a sustainability program where we need to invest into a project that can raise funds that will help mitigate some of the programs we are having that may not be happening because of the resources that we have been depending on people giving, and the people giving has come down, and therefore sustainability project came in to see how we can raise certain commercial program that will give us resources to do FUM objectives and missions. And this year is the seed corn, and we are expecting the resources out of this to go towards certain programs, and the others will go towards the loan, because part of it was a loan we received. FUM acquired a loan and gave us, so we pay some loan and others come and meet some of the programs that we are doing. It's a sustainable. We are looking to see how do we sustain our programs as Friends United Meeting rather than depending on people to give, which is continuing to go down. So this project I'm on, that's why I can afford to be on the farm. I don't care it is raining, so long as this project succeed. I'm happy. I'm not even feeling I'm bundled into a road that can be passable, but I'm happy that the project is coming out. We are a good harvest, and I'm happy that the product will give us resources to carry out our programs. That FUM's objectives and missions shall be able to be realized out of this.
So this is the third year of the Mbweri Farm project, is that correct?
This is the third year. The first 2 years we did commercial. And this year, after preparing the land, now we came to care to seed maize. And I can tell the seed maize is very productive than the commercial. And the seed maize is a contracted crop, harvested, goes to the owner, and the owner pays us per kilo. So the more we produce, the more we are paid.
Yeah. Excellent. We're going to start sharing the PowerPoint presentation, and I'm going to ask John and Getry to figure out by rock, paper, scissors across hundreds of miles who is going to talk about the picture illustrated, because I'm not sure how they are integrated. We're going to start off the presentation with pictures of the FTC battery project to prepare whoever gets to go first. So as we move through the pictures, one of the two of you please describe what we see in the picture and what's going on and what are the significance to FUM in that picture. Can you see the picture, John?
Not yet.
This is Robert Wafula.
Yeah, the installation of
Go ahead.
of the solar.
Yes.
This is an installation solar project that is at
What is the picture?
you're using your phone?
Yeah.
Try to swipe to the left, see if you see the plane.
having it.
It's a solar project that was started at Friends College for College.
May I explain it, Getri?
Okay, yeah.
Let me explain this.
Go for it, John.
For a long time, FUM have tried to go green, to adhere to the climate change. And one of the things that came up very clear was to look at how we can actually use a lot of energy, wasted light. We have a lot of sunshine. We are on the equator, and there is sunshine throughout the year. It's not like in America, sometimes you don't have sunshine in winter. But here we have sunshine throughout, and there was need to do this climate change. FTC had to undergo this process to meet also the cost of energy they were using so much, especially on electricity. The cost of electricity at FTC was completely so high, and they could not manage even paying. We had one of the electrical engineer from Iowa. This was Oxma. This was somebody, Oxma from Iowa. He's an engineer. He's an electric engineer. Also, he was a missionary here for some time. And then he was also he's also an engineer. He has been an electric engineer at William Penn University. He spent his sabbatical putting up the solar. He managed also to raise some money through FUM, and FUM also managed to raise some money to put this solar project that was put in place at FTC to meet the lighting of the college, and reduce the cost of electricity.
When did the batteries get installed?
The batteries have been there for the first batteries were installed, it should be almost 4, 5, almost 7 years ago. They have run out of, they are supposed to be replaced. I think some of them were being replaced because they were exhaustively finished.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they are supposed to be replaced. Some of them had started dying off, and I'm sure Robert has been trying to get some funds. FUM has been trying to look for funds to make sure that we replace the batteries with the new ones, because the first ones were now, they had reached an expiry period.
Yeah. So these batteries in the picture, they were installed sometime within the last couple months?
These are the new ones, which were replaced with the others, the ones that were there, the old ones. So these are the new ones that were replaced, which can actually run. They didn't even get all of them. You still have some that requires to be, but they replaced some that can now run. And they did the lithium battery than the ones that were there before.
Yeah. Kathleen, can you scroll through some of those pictures, some of the other shots? There you go. This is the work of the installation. And
yes.
so let's go ahead and go to the Getry photo, and then we can get Getry tell us about what you see and what's going on in the picture. Do we have Getry with us?
Michael. Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this picture was taken while in Turkana. I was having a meeting looking at the performance of the Girl Child Scholarship Program. So those two girls, actually, the good news is they finished their final exams last year. We were there with Kelly in Turkana and celebrated their achievements. And they are very promising because they passed so well, and they are all going to university.
Excellent. So these girls have just graduated U.S. equivalent high school and are ready to go.
University.
Yes. Well done.
Yes.
Next slide.
That is our dispensary in Samburu, the Loltulele dispensary that is sponsored by Friends United Meeting. Patients normally go there when like especially mothers when they are going taking their children for immunization. So those who are there are patients waiting to see the nurse, who is a government employer.
How long has the dispensary been present there?
The dispensary has been there for a long time. I think John can tell us the exact years. I'm not able to, but it's been there since the missionary started going there.
John, do you know the exact date?
The dispensary was by Isaiah Bikokwa. Isaiah Bikokwa, when he was the missionary in Samburu, he started the dispensary. This should be close. The dispensary actually started there in 2001, 2001 and 2. 2001. And 2002, there was another dispensary that was built in another location called Lusuk. And the Iowa yearly meeting, people came and helped to put up. Unfortunately, the area, because of banditry, it was vandalized from that. And then we remained with only this Rutulele, which is the headquarters of Samburu Friends Mission, and is serving the community of the Samburu who can't reach Mararal town for a major hospital.
Excellent. Next slide.
Yeah, that is the Lusuka Empowerment Center. FEM got some money. I think John might be having a bigger history of the funding for this empowerment center, but the mission came up with this as a plan of sustainability program. John, do you have a background history?
In Lusuk, this is the area where there was a clinic, and it was actually destroyed by the banditry. This area, the neighborhood, is neighboring another community, which they always have fight banditry into cattle rustling. There was money that was donated by Iowa yearly meeting to put up a dam that was going to help water towards the clinic. Unfortunately, when the clinic was destroyed, they could not put anything there. It was about $23,000. FUM requested Iowa to give them a go-ahead to change the use of the fund to build a sustainability project. And this is how the Empowerment Center came. So that money was now brought in to build the Empowerment Center. These are shops and a business building which support the Samburu Friends mission to give them an income for sustainability.
Excellent. Next slide. You're muted, Getry.
Sorry. Always when every year, because Turkana has experienced drought for quite a long time, it's now 6 years without rain. And it's until this year, early in January, there was some rain, but it came a lot that it caused flooding. The community in Samburu normally go through a lot of starvation issues. And so Friends United meeting at Kisumu office, we go to our yearly meetings and talk to friends and tell them we cannot leave our sisters to suffer. So we mobilize dry beans and maize, and those who send support like money to buy the soft food for kids and sanitary towels for young women. And in this picture, I was present distributing food items. And the community was sitting under a tree that was not really a tree to provide shade, but they are praising God, saying that manna has come to us today. when we had distributed the maize.
Next one.
Kakuma refugee camp.
Pastoralists.
What happens there?
We have I think four churches in Kakuma refugee camp, which was started by missionary John Moru, and refugees from Congo and some very few from South Sudan have benefited actually from Friends United meeting and the peace program that has been happening, because we go there, do either trauma healing or alternative to violence program. We got support from Friends to buy sewing machine, because the women in the refugee camp say they needed to have a source of income for sustainability, because the ratio of the food in the camp was very small. And so we were visiting and we got them somebody to train them on the sewing machine. And so these are very active program, up to date. A friend donated some support to add more machines and revamp the ones that are old. And this is a process that it's still under the process to deliver that for them. But they're very excited because it has made the demand of asking for requests like food and support for education has been minimized.
This machine were actually, it was a donation from Sylvia Graves. When he came in and visited, and they visited the refugee camp, and they went back and got some funds and sent to buy these sewing machines.
Excellent. Next slide. Now we're on the farm.
Here,
John?
here is the farm. The first one was the farm machinery. That is Kate. This was our first harvest when we did the first harvesting commercial, and it was the maize had been actually delivered to the dryer, and they had been poured. So Kate is there trying to push the maize into go down under where he's standing. That is now it goes under to the conveyance for the dryer. So Kate, our officer, Catherine Gunza, who is a communication officer, was there. Everybody was involved. This farm sustainability has involved every staff of FUM and participatory in it.
Yeah.
This picture was taken when you're going through a Jubilee celebration in Turkana after 53 years since its existence. And here we are meeting the kids who are entertaining us at Kalkol Friends Church. The mission work in Turkana has taken, actually now it's 55 years since it began. And there's a lot of tremendous and investment and promising in the area. So our visit there with Friends after the Kabarak Triennial in 2023 was a blessing to the community, because it was like a continuous hope.
Next slide.
That's a church you see was built by the missionaries. That is a harrow of the farm. It's a machine for a harrow that had just arrived. It's new. We had bought it for the machine for the farm. In fact, where I'm standing, where I am seated in the vehicle, the harrow is there. I'm looking at it. And this is new, and I'm looking at it. It has really worked and done the work. This is part of the machinery of the farm, and we own them.
Yep. And part of that made possible by generous contributions by the folks in Yadkin Valley quarterly meeting in North Carolina. So
yes,
a big thank you to them.
Thank you. That's true. Those are the maize when we were actually delivering the maize. Oh, this is Getry. That is you.
Yes. We were weighing.
What were you doing?
We were actually weighing the maize. We are sieving to remove the dirt and weighing it to be sold to the cereals board for storage.
How heavy is that bag?
90.
90 kgs.
So you can lift that with one hand?
No. No. If I eat my ugali well, maybe.
Yes, if you have a good portion of ugali.
Yeah, 198 pounds. Yep.
Wow. This is a school that was receiving our peace curriculum. After the Kenyan election, post-election violence in 2007, 2008, the Quakers felt they needed to do some immediate response, but also long-term response. One of the long-term response was training school students on peace. And so a booklet was developed by some of the Quaker school heads, together with our director, John Mhanji, and a friend from George Fox University, a professor, who sat down and came up with this material that students are now using in what we call in Kiswahili Amani Club. So this was one of the schools that has the Amani Club, and we are giving out the curriculum for them to use in their day-to-day activities, and they're doing their clubs. Because we are looking at enhancing peace methodology in children as they grow up.
Mhm.
Getri, is this the peace methodology based upon the American Alternatives to Violence project that you were originally trained in?
Some of the tools are actually very close to alternative to violence, but some are more focused on the young children.
Got it.
With their age and where they are. So it's a bit different as it grows.
Yeah. Thank you.
Here we have the Loltulele team of pastors. After a meeting, I can see in the purple shirt is Felix. And we had friends who are coming from North yearly meeting. The yearly meeting clerk of North is the man in the tie next to the lady with white. So they just came to visit because Samburu Mission, as much as it's affiliated as a partner project with Friends United Meeting, it is under the North yearly meeting. And so the responsibility of North yearly meeting to visit and make sure the mission is going on. This next slide is also the primary peace curriculum. The school that we were training, the teacher, a peace club teacher in charge of a primary school is taking the peace curriculum booklets for the club. Same, these are different schools. These Butere girls, they're also receiving their peace curriculum to help them, guide them. The gentleman standing on the side is the organizing secretary for the national director, NCIC.
How many times do you take a picture like this throughout the year?
Many times. With Kate, a lot of times.
Yeah. So this is a frequent thing where you are out in the grassroots area in Kenya and handing off peace curriculum to school students. Okay. Thank you. Next one.
Peter, the director of Turkana Friends Mission, was using the mission truck to supply water to families that are very far away from the water. So the director would call some pastors and they talk about the crisis of water, and then they offer to take the truck with the mobilized bottles, collect a lot of water, and share with families that are thirsty or that are drowning because of drought.
This was the picture I wanted to hear most about.
These are our girls who graduated from high school last year, and they are all going to university.
Do you know what they're studying?
I think there are a couple of professions that are stating, but I haven't been many keen on what they're doing. But you had some wanted to be nurses, another one wanted to be a teacher, another one said she wanted to be an engineer.
Mhm.
They all had a career, but with the promise that they want to study hard, get a job, and support the
Yep.
same program because they feel it has done a big difference in their life, giving back to
One
the
of the-
community.
One of the common pieces of all of those goals is a community care profession, something that makes the community a better place.
Mhm. So, Michael, these are the ones whom we need to train their husbands.
Yes.
The shepherd boys.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, you see there are cute girls, they get married out of the community and therefore they don't benefit the community.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was the graduation cake. With Kelly, director John, and Emmons and the girls, we all shared a cake to celebrate them. And they all were given a lot of encouragement. And they became so very happy and proactive.
The Turukana girls.
Yes.
Where is that Getri?
Oh, this is a training for the youth at Kakuma. This is on our Kakuma church. The blue building is our Kakuma church. And these are the youth that are getting training from the pastors of the Turkana mission, just
Good.
on youth role of the youth in the church and how to be a responsible young person. They had a conference for 3 days, and they were split in ages. Well, Director, do you want to talk about this? The nursing students in Samburu?
This is the nursing students in Samburu. We have a program with the George Fox Nursing School through with Professor Eloise Hackett. And they've been coming and doing some community work. They come and they serve, they do some work in Luguru Hospital. Previously, they did some work within the hospital doing health assessment. They did in Kaptama, and this time for the 2 consecutive years, last year and this year, we've developed a program with the Samburu Friends Mission. Here we were in Samburu, and it was during lunchtime. We can even find ourselves, even dogs were coming and sharing some of the meals we are having. So this is a team that was doing healthcare to the community of the Samburus. And this year we were there, and I can tell you, this year the service we served some people even who were involved in banditry. They came in and they were treated. We treated several people, even the Morans, who hardly wants to be handled by women, but we handled them very carefully, and they came and they were treated. So this is George Fox team, School of Nursing, that comes to do healthcare programs in Kenya in June to early July.
Yeah, and they do this every year. Is that correct?
Every year, annually, yeah, every year.
Yeah. Next one.
They call them health camps, and they have volunteer medicine.
This is that is Turkana. That is Kalokol. That was a house that was a residential house for missionary. Haman Otioko, the late, used to stay in that house. Is that so, Getri? That's the house for Haman. Used to stay there. Is still there. Is a pastor staying there. So this is Kalokol, and this was the missionary Otioko used to stay in that house. Now she's being stayed in by pastor, and some other part are being rented. They are due for renovations.
Yeah.
They have been worn out. Yeah.
This is Samburu. One of our pastor, who is a senior pastor, Christopher, they were doing peace meetings after there was an attack a week before by banditry, and they shot the shootings was happening until it went through the church. Lucky enough, nobody was killed, but the door was pissed off by the bullet, and one police reserve was shot on the leg. So they had to call the community members, and they had some discussion about the security of the area. Same thing, they had a different discussion about the security. And this one now involved the police because they felt they needed to remind the police their role in making sure the people are safe. But also police had raised their concern on how they feel overwhelmed when the community is not supporting security measures.
Well, thank you both. Getry, what is the one thing coming up in the next year in working with FUM that you are most excited about?
I'm most excited about so many things. I'll start with the key one, the Shepherd Boy program, because I feel it's an entry no one has thought of. And so if we take up a responsibility and fundraise to support this boy being school, they'll interact with other cultures, they'll interact with other people, and they learn different ways of how to live positively.
Yeah, I think increasingly in the U.S., we find ourselves not in the same economic, the economic piece isn't the same, but the isolated piece is very similar. That we often have a really hard time experiencing things that are not familiar to us because of the way the life is developing. We get a repeat role of what's familiar and don't often engage culturally what is different than us. And so that part is touching to me as well. John, what is the one thing you are most excited about in the coming year working with FUM?
One of the things that I could say about my excitement and working with FUM is one of a kind that has a transformative level for communities. And one of the key area is seeing the growth of the church of Quaker and the desire for it within the Tanzania, the Malawi, and Zambia through the FUM initiative of supporting missions operations. And therefore, FUM inspiration and motivation to drive transformative ministry in communities that have never had a chance to know what peace is like, what education is like, and not only just doing Christ-centered things, but transforming the lives through peace education and giving also education to people, especially in Tanzania, Malawi, and Zambia, and more so the infiltration for the involvement of ourselves in Southern Sudan, where John Moro has taken initiative, and that's propagating the FUM initiative in reaching to the community that have not been reached. So my inspiration is FUM is a key holder in transforming lives of people where other people don't even have an inch to go and transform them. And that's why even Getry would say he's looking for the shepherd boy. That is one area nobody's caring about. And FUM will touch lives where other people are not touching lives.
Yeah. I think I heard you say last year or maybe the year before that the church is growing in Tanzania, and I think you
Yes.
said, and I have no idea why.
Exactly. And the FUM is on the front line.
Yeah. Being a part of the mystery of what God is doing in the world, being present for that to happen. And the transition I want to make is that presence doesn't happen without support for FUM projects. And so, John, can you tell everyone how they can be supportive of Friends United meeting across the world?
I think I would like to take this opportunity to express and maybe to explain what FUM is able to do in transforming lives in various communities, and especially in Africa. FUM has been able to reach out to communities that were never known to exist and even know what education is or what even Christ is or what peace is like. They are involved into touching lives in Samburu, touching the people we call the Moran, giving them a new life of education from being banditry to becoming professionals. Getting the girls who are 12 years old, getting married to old men, giving them education and transforming them into professionals that help the community grow. Touching lives to people in Tanzania, communities that were completely infiltrated by witchcraft have been transformed by the involvement of the FUM and the Quakers in the church, in the community, where many people are leaving witchcraft and coming to serve the church and joining education and becoming professionals who can carry out their work rather than living in the cultural issues that were destroying. FUM has seen us reaching out to communities in Uganda, where the churches in Uganda, in northern Uganda, are being transformed from communities that are all into war like that they were fighting, and the peace education is actually infiltrating in the schools. FUM is touching lives of people in DRC, Eastern Congo, where churches that were running in the bush are gathering together and have become an avenue for education in various institutions in Congo, Eastern Congo. Despite the fact that there is a lot of fight in place, the Quaker Church continue to carry out its work. Friends United meeting continue to reach out to the communities in Turkana, as dry as they are, providing education, providing water, providing the safe place for them they can find a peace to know they are a human being. Friends United meeting gives a transformative life to people. People have never understood the impact the Friends United meeting does, and hence we need support, because all this work from our office, Africa Ministries office, we have only the 4 staff, but what we do is more than for 4 people, and we touch lives of people, and it doesn't come out from anything. So the support that comes up helps the staff for communication to do their communication bit, carrying out this communication for programs and the peace work and the girl child and the shepherd boy. My sister Getri can move on and carry out this work and bring out the community with peace and educating girls and reaching out the boys that were completely in banditry to become professionals. That I can be able to coordinate various programs that are within the region of Africa, and the church has grown in Tanzania, Malawi, and right now we are heading to Zimbabwe and Mozambique. It can only be done by the support that can come by. God being on our side and many people coming to join us on this journey, we will be able to fulfill this work as Friends United meeting with their support.
you very much. I'm inspired. I the leadership development, holistic evangelism, and global partnership and communication are the 4 pillars of FUM's mission work and ministry around the world. And we are doing those things in a way that astounds the people who are doing it. That they, the reason I like John's quote is that he says, "I have no idea." That is clear to me that this is the work that God is laying out before in this moment, in this place, and doing great things. And FUM is not passively participating, but is present in these places where no one else is present. And that can't happen without support. It can't happen without prayer. It can't happen without the staff of FUM having their eyes open and their hearts open to the opportunities that are available in the places they work and serve. And those things don't happen without your financial support. And so I want to say thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity to listen to the things that are going on in Kenya and Tanzania, Uganda, Mozambique, Sudan, and there's one more that I'm missing, Malawi. It is incredible and inspiring and encouraging.